Hello, hello, hello. I think we are live. Let me just do a double check. Make sure we're all right. Yeah, it's looking good. Everything's working my end. Happy days. Okay. Good evening and welcome to another Wednesday night live. Now, I did say I might be half an hour late, but I'm not. So, yeah. I'm here now and everything's running fine. Hey up, Gary B. Good to see you, mate. 3 concurrent viewers. It's not telling me if anybody's watching, so I'm sitting here looking at the screen thinking, there's no one here. You're okay, mate? Aid, Rob, evening chaps. I hope everyone's alright. I've been a bit pushed for time this weekend. Today, like I've been out this evening. I had to go to Wallasey to choose a new bathroom. Is everything still working all right, by the way? Can you still hear me? Evening, Will. Because it's saying no data. I'm looking at the live stream and it just says no data. Evening, James. It's all good, right? Okay. I would say in excellent condition again now. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, James, Will, Gary. I've been out choosing a new bathroom. I had to go after work at 5 o'clock. They stayed open for me, and I only got in at 7. So I was running a bit late. Like that's why I put that it might be 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock. But as it happens, like I made it in time anyway. So we're all good. So I've got I haven't had time to do any pictures of last weekend's session to show you or anything like that, you know, to bring them into the stream. So I can't really, well, I've got nothing to show you this week at all, like, but you know, I did go fishing last Saturday and I had a couple of fish as well, which was good. Cheers, Will. Yeah, so I went to the brickworks again on Saturday. I had Friday off, went Friday, caught 3. Went Saturday, caught 2. I turned up on Saturday about 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And oh my God, I've never seen it so busy. There's just every single peg, virtually every single peg was taken. I parked in the car park and walked down and there was 1 peg left, 1 pokey little peg, and I thought, well, I'll fish here, get my gear out, like I'll fish here and we'll see what happens. And while I was setting up, the lad who was next to me, because the pegs are quite close together, he said there was someone in that 5 minutes ago. He's literally only just gone. So fishing, I took the last peg and I followed someone into a peg, which is just not really the way you want to be fishing, is it? So I set up anyway and I put my baits out, and I thought it's going to be a late job because I sat down like about 10 or 15 minutes and all you could hear was conversations going on from one side of the lake to the other. and you know you can hear them, and I can hear conversations down the other end of the lake as well. There was about 3 or 4 different convos going on all the time, and I'm thinking, I'm going to catch nothing here today. There's no self-respecting carp's going to feed in this. They're just gonna wait until everybody goes home after dark, and then come in and mop everything up. So I sat there and I thought, well, I'm here now, I might as well stay. The rugby's on, so I think England were playing Wales or something like that. I thought, well, some of them might clear off early, and it might go a little bit quieter. And you know, once we get to 5 o'clock, like 4 o'clock, 4, 5, they'll all start clearing off for the tea, and it's light until after 6. So I thought, you know, might get a chance after 5 o'clock. And I called it spot on, because 20 past 5 I got my first bite. I had a small mirror, £9, 2 ounces I think it was, something like that. I'd lost a fish earlier in the day as well, like I had a bite in the middle of the afternoon, like just a little knock on the rod tip, but I hit it and missed it. So I'd already had a missed run, and I picked the fish up at 20 past 5, and I thought, well, I'll lob it back out again, like I'll stay till 6, 5 past, 10 past 6, something like that, just, you know, as really as the light starting to go and it's half light. And I bent down to wind one of my rods in, and it went off. And when it went off, the guys either side of me had all gone, and I was the only one there. So I was right about it being quiet. Like once it dropped off and everybody cleared off and it went quiet, those fish started coming in round the edge, and I got a couple of bites. So that second fish, as I was about to wind my rod in, was only 7-8 pounds, something like that. It was so late in the day, I wasn't going to weigh it or photograph it. Like I just took the hook out and put it back. But yeah, I was happy to catch 2 on a day when nobody else caught anything. You know, the float lads who were catching roach and stuff like that, but as far as carp fishing goes, nothing else was caught. So I was quite happy with that. Got myself a bit of a result there. Ian McHale, do you expect the lakes to be less busy when restrictions are lifted elsewhere? I'm not so sure, James, to be quite honest. I'm hoping it will spread people around a bit more, but I'm not sure it will make them any less busy. The way things are at the moment, like more and more people are starting to turn to fishing for, you know, exercise and stuff like that to get out. So it's ridiculous. I don't know. Yeah, last summer was the worst summer I've ever known for angling pressure. There was so many people on the bank, it was ridiculous. And I'm just hoping this year they've all decided that they don't like carp fishing and they can't catch. A few blanks will send them all packing, hopefully. I know me and my mate Kev, I was fishing with my mate Kev on Friday, and we both decided that what we really want is some crappy weather. We want it to go cold again, and we want it cloudy and raining, because people won't come out. Because this last week of sunshine cracking the flags and stuff like that, it's brought everybody out. As John says, spring is in the air, and don't they know it? Stephen, it's my fishing blog, good evening. Managed to get out with first session of 21, Winkle a couple out, chub on the river, yeah, hard going. It is, mate. Chubbing's great, but it can be hard work at sometimes. It's just, like you say, it's just being out on the bank, isn't it? Cheese paste generally does well for chub, mate, in the winter. Johnny Tosh, alright John. Have you got a new video out, John? I was watching one of yours the other day, but I could have sworn I saw another one on Facebook before. Paul Hodgson, evening mate. Gizmo, alright. Luke, you went fishing yesterday, private match, £150 in white. What does that mean, Luke, £150 in white? Am I missing something there, because I'm not a match angler? pushing for that private late ticket when things open up. It's already getting, yeah, you're not wrong there, Paul. I mean, where I'm going at the moment, the Brickies in Morton, is it's busy because people can't go anywhere. I've spoken to a few people who've said, you know, I'll be gone when we can travel again, and when things open up, I'll go back to my normal water. And I've said the same. You know, I won't hang around. I actually might hang around the Brickies because it's local, it's close, and yeah, it produces the fish. Like, you know, you can get a few fish virtually every time you go. I've done 4 sessions now, caught on 3 of them, and I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fish in those 3 out of 4 sessions and 1 blank. So when I have caught, like, it's generally been a multiple catch as well. So it's good for filming on. I reckon I'll do quite well filming on there, like, if I can. A little bit of pike fishing, right? Okay, John. Yeah, well, you know I like my pike fishing, mate, so I'll have a watch of that. Anthony, good to see you, mate. I hope you're well. It's been a while. Yeah, Paul, you're waiting to travel to your better lake. Getting a weekday season ticket for a local day ticket, 70 quid for the year. Yeah, that's similar to me, Paul. I've just paid 80 for the yearly ticket for the Brickworks. I reckon by time, because I finish work on Friday for another week, so I'm off next week, and I reckon by the time March ends, because I've got 2 weeks off in March to go fishing midweek, my Brickies ticket will have paid for itself, mate, easily. And then, you know, I've got until next year, obviously, so get next winter out of it as well, plus any evening sessions in the summer when I want to start filming. So it's well worth the 80 quid for me. Saturday getting cold again. Ian, have you been out there today? It's gone from very, very spring-like to bloody freezing. I went out at dinner time to pay a few bills and stuff like that, and I thought, Jesus Christ, it's cold. I'll be honest, Will, bank tackle, I don't even know what they make. I've heard the name before, bank tackle, but I have no idea what stuff they've got or what they make, or, well, they probably don't make anything, do they? They just rebadge it. Don't know, mate. Not me personally, but some of the other lads might have. Bank tackle, anyone? Good or bad? Yeah, same as you, Paul. Evenings, local and big sessions at proper lakes. Yeah, that's exactly the way I'm doing it, and it does make sense for the filming, because I was filming on quietly on PA waters, but they've stopped all that now. You're not allowed, and anything that identifies the lake or anything like that's not allowed anymore. I mean, I never used to name my venues anyway, and I'd always stonewall anyone who asked in public. So I stopped it. But at least I've got somewhere else to go now, and it is good for a few bites to Brickies as well. Like, a lot of fish in there. Ah, right, weighing of fish. Okay, Luke, thanks, mate. I wasn't sure. I'm not familiar with batch fishing terms and stuff like that. Freezing today on site. It was, Will, wasn't it? I mean, I went outside and it was bloody awful. No sunshine either, like it clouded over, and it was quite bad today. Like, I thought, ooh, yeah, winter's coming back, and I don't mind that, because hopefully if it's still like that on Saturday or even worse, it'll put people off. I mean, I can go fully suited and booted with, you know, like an underlayer on as well, like, so I can stay warm in the coldest of weather. So it's not going to stop me being out. but it might stop some of the other lads, especially the ones who, you know, like sit still on a seat box and stuff like that. Chod hooks and swivels and stuff. Happy with the gear for half the price. Yeah, that's fair enough, Will. I mean, it just sounds like the typical, they've got their stuff from China the same as everybody else, but they're not charging as much, which is good in the end, at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, because they're driving the prices down. If people go to Bank Tackle instead of, you know, one of the major ones that charges twice as much, then, you know, you can't complain about that. Give them the business. Does the quality look good? Fake corn and a bit of zig foam, and it's doing good. Just lifting the hook on a curve. I'm zigging at the moment. Most of my 7 fish have fallen to the zig, to be honest. Yeah, Bank Tackle's good. Ian's had some bits off them, cheap as well. Happy days. Bank Tackle OK, had some gear from them, like swivels and the quarter safe beads. Rip off Spy with Confidence. There you go. Hooks are bang on. There you go. So we're agreed Bank Tackle's alright then. They're doing everything cheap. Naked shot setup and zig kits bang on. That's, do you know what, I've been trying, Will. I come home on Saturday right after having a fish on the zig. On Saturday, 1 fish on a zig, 1 on the bottom. And I thought, I need some more stuff. Now, for zig fishing, as far as I'm concerned, Fox rules. They are light years ahead of everybody else. The Zigger line is great. And those new floats they brought out last year, oh my God. I've lobbed them 80 and 90 yards without tangling. They are absolutely fantastic. So I'm quite happy with the Fox stuff. And I looked in at the route in my tackle box, like I've got 1 yellow Zigger liner, which is currently on my rig. And I think about 3 black ones, and that's all I've got left. I've got nothing else. And I'm looking at my box thinking, where the bloody hell's it all gone? Because I had loads. Now I've got none. So I tried to buy some on Sunday. I thought, well, I'll order some bits now and they'll be ready for Saturday. And everywhere's sold out. Trying to get the kit, you know, with the red, yellow and black in. And I'm also trying to get the kit with the white, pink and brown as well, 1 of each. And out of stock is all I got off every site I went to. Ridiculous. So I still haven't got what I wanted, but I'll still go on Saturday. Like, I've got the 1 yellow one and I don't think I'm going to be losing it. Hopefully it'll still work. And I've always got a black one to use if the yellow's not up to it. So I need to get to a shop and find some. eBay has some good deals undercutting the big names. You save £5 a time. I haven't really, well, I've not really looked at them, Paul, to be honest. I've been on eBay looking for these Fox Zigger liners, like, but I couldn't find them. But I didn't have a look at anybody else's while I was there. Try to spool up your reels with what's left of EV Pro Gold. What you need, Gizmo, is back in line. So if you know how much Pro Gold you've got, and it's enough, so like, you know, you might only have like 300 yards to do 2 spools, 150 on each spool, and as long as you're not casting that distance, and you know you're fishing within reasonable distance of the bank, then you'll be fine with them, mate. Just gotta get more backing on. Or is it a case of like there's only about 30 yards left? in which case it's not happening. Naked chod stuff is decent. Right, okay, that's not for me. £5 for lead core, going to try it. I've got incidentally, speaking of lead core, Will, thank you very much. I've got a new video coming out on Sunday. It's not lead core, it's lead free leader. You know, the tungsten leaders. It's only a short one, just splicing lead free leader. But I'm quite happy using lead free. And it works very well. Like, I've been using it for about 4 years now. For margin fishing, you know, like laying baits in the margins, and then just because it sinks and it gets down a lot better than mono. I've been using it as leaders for margin fishing, really close in, for hiding my line. So yeah, lead free leaders, new video Sunday. I'll put it up about 1 o'clock on Sunday like I normally do. You can have a look at it. Right, where are we? Bank tackle kits, the same, mate. I've compared them. Right, okay, well, cheers, mate. I might have a look at them then. When this live stream's over, I'll go over and see what they've got. Luke, do you fish Park Lakes? I have done in the past, mate. I'm not at the moment, but I've fished a few parks. Birkenhead Park near me, Walton Park in Liverpool, Calderstones Park in Liverpool. I've fished a few Park Lakes in my time, mate. But at the moment, I'm just on private waters. Bald Eagle, evening, mate. As you can see, I'm falling behind here. Yeah, zig rig, zig adjustable float. Yeah, Ian, I'm fishing in 20 feet of water, 2 foot under the surface. I've got me foam, and then obviously the float's a little bit further down, but you need the float to get it up there. And you don't get screaming runs, you just get a knocking on the rod tip and it goes beep, 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 and that's all you get, just a wobbling rod tip. And as soon as you hear the beep, you're on the rod straight away because you know you've got to run. That's a single beep and a knocking rod tip on an adjustable zig is a screaming run, mate. And you've got to... You've got to keep an eye on your rod tip and listen for your alarm. But yeah, it's great. The adjustable zig, it's a cracker. J Precision kit's very much like Fox, just a little softer rubber on the aligner. Right, okay, John. So there are a few alternatives out there that are worthwhile looking at then. Luke, were you fishing Sevy Park? I don't think he was. Yes, he was. Excellent. Right, okay. Nice one, Luke. Lead free on order. Very supple stuff, the Fox one. It's called... what's it called? Not Touchdown. Fox... I've forgotten the name of it. I tried to buy the Fox one, Will, and I went to Dave's in Middlewich several times and it was sold out every time. It's really, really popular. And could I ever get hold of it? The only other one I could find in the shop was one called Silk Ray from PB Products. And I wasn't sure about it, so I ignored it at first. And then I got talking to a couple of my mates, Darren and Dave, and they said, oh, we're using Silk Ray. It's actually really good. I was like, what? Oh, okay. So, which would you prefer? Excuse me a minute. Hello?
Hello, it's Kate from Maine reception.
Can you ring 2044?
Okay, thank you.
It's medical records out of hours.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Finish work at 5 o'clock and they're still trying to ring me. Obviously there's a problem in A&E there, but it's not going to be me just sorting it out because I've left work. Right, where was I? How did you get on? Oh, that's a Sevy Park. That's for Luke, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Angling iron, do good lead-free leader, and hooks are really good. Right, okay. 10% code for bank tackle, tackle 10. Happy days. Lost net, yeah, all good. Lead clip or heli system. I would prefer a heli system to a lead clip myself. I'm not a fan of lead clips, and I just don't like it. Don't like them, like, because people jam the rubber on too tight and they end up as a death rig if you're not careful. I'd much rather have a heli set up, and if it breaks, like, and the hook link will come free, and you're not leaving the fish towing the lead round. Like, so heli for me out of those two. Although my preference is actually for an inline setup, and I did a video on it, how to set up an inline lead for carp fishing, is on my channel if you want to have a look. That's the exact lead setup I use for 99% of my fishing. Amazon. Right, okay, is that where you use the tackle 10% code? Is that on Amazon, Will? Is that right? Have I got that right? PBs is good. Yeah, well, like I said, Will, I wanted the Fox, but I couldn't get hold of it. It was just sold out all the time, like everywhere I went. Have you got any of this? No. But there's plenty of PB stuff, so I ended up getting Silk Ray. Now, I've had, in the last 4 years, I think I bought 4 spools of that. 2 in the greeny one and 2 in the browny one, and I've still got quite a bit of it left, like, but I've used it for quite a lot over the last 4 years, like, and it's been great, gotta say. Yeah, Paul, I use inlines on silt as well, mate. You'd have to remember my rigs are braid. I use braided hook lengths, so I've not got like a chod rig or a Ronnie rig or anything like that. Anything with any kind of stiff boom is not in my setup. I want it as supple as I can get, so I use braid, and yes, I use an inline. Yeah, the hook answer was a B175 Camazan. I've had a couple of messages on that video actually of late. One young lad went fishing, and he'd done the rig that I'd done in the video with the Camazan B175, and he was fishing with his mate, and his mate was taking the mickey out of him because he had corder hooks. So his mate was on corders and he was on the Camazans, and his mate had a bite and lost a fish to a hook pull on the corder, and the lad who'd been watching my videos and used the B175 had 4 fish and no losses. Which is par for the course, as they say. Any idea when you were back in the office? Must admit, working from home is a tough one on me mentally. I'm loving it, James. I'm not, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going back. I want to stay here. I quite like working from home. I don't like being in the office. The office is very much, politics, stuff like that. Okay, it's nice to have contact with the people you work with, like, but there's a lot of politics in the NHS, mate, and I don't like it. So I'd much rather be working from home and not having to deal with it. The phone rings, I get a call, I sort someone's problems out for them, and that's the end of it. And I don't have to do any of the rest of the stuff. So I'm quite happy working from home, mate, and I hope I never have to go back. Or if I do, get a choice, I might go in 1 day a week, 1 day in the office and 4 days at home or something like that. But as far as I'm concerned, mate, working from home is fantastic. Yeah, and inlines on the silt pole, as you know, braided hook length. Funny stories when you've been fishing. Probably, Luke, tons of them, mate, but we'd be here all night. Inline, yeah, I like the inlines. It's I don't like the lead clips, just the way I am like. Do you not find the inline sinks in the silt? No, not really. It'd have to be pretty heavy silt, and to be honest, you just make your rig slightly longer so that there's so much of it sitting on the top. It can actually help with the bolt effect if it buries in the silt, because instead of using, instead of having 2 ounces when that fish takes, if it's got to unplug the lead from the silt as well, like, it'll help pull the hook in better. And yeah, as Bald Eagle says, all lead sink in silt. It's not just in liners. So they do all sink. Okay, a bomb on a lead clip is going to go in first, and the lead clip will follow if it's soft silt. Amazon for the Fox Leader. Code is for ordering on the bank tackle. Thanks, Will. Cheers, mate. I'll take a look at Amazon. I might order it from there. I was trying to get it from the shop, mate, but I've got so much silk ray because I've had 4 spools of it now. I think it's about 12 quid a spool. I've been through 2 and I'm on the last 2, but I'm not going to need any for a while because I've got some leaders made up, and those rig things that you get where your rigs go round a little disc. I've got some made up, some leaders made up, so I don't need any at the moment. But next time I buy some, I probably will switch to the Fox one. Cried he didn't catch any trout. No, he was made up with the hooks, mate. He was thanking me for putting him onto the hooks and the rig, because basically he outfished his mate on the cord of stuff. And I actually said to him in the comments, like, make sure you take the mickey out of him next time you see him. Start calling him Munger and asking how many fish he's caught. And every time he catches one, make sure he goes, bosh! I said, just be ruthless and be merciless with the mickey taking. Say, how much did you pay for them hooks again? How many hook pulls have you had? How many fish have you caught? I would completely take the mickey out of him. But that's just me. No, inlines are great in silt, Paul. Absolutely. It like I said, it's having the right hook length with it. So if you've got anything semi-stiff, like a coated braid or something like that, when the inline lead goes in, that's going to point upwards, and you'll end up with a rig that doesn't sit right. So you've got to have the right hook length material with it. But if you do, and you use a sinking braid, it's great in silt. Yeah, I don't think it makes any difference myself. Bald Eagle, like you say, it's there's not much in it. It can hinder presentation, but only if you're on a semi-stiff or stiff hook length. You wouldn't use it with a stiff rig or anything like that. You'd go for the lead clip. Well, I put it right against the lead, and if you're new to the heli system, just put it, you want the hook length right up against the lead. You would only need to lengthen it, really, if you were fishing in weed and you wanted the bait to sit on top of weed. Apart from that, mate, just put it right down. Feather your cast and the lead will drop and gently unplug if there's an issue with presentation. Yeah. You really don't rate corded that much. Well, welcome to the club, Ant. Neither do I. You do have some good little bits. If you're using a heli system, mate, one thing they have got is a safety bead, and it's like a piece of rubber that goes over your leader, over your leg core leader, and then there's like a half bead. And when that bead comes off, you use it as your top bead on your helicopter rig, and when it comes off, it drops off, because it's not a complete bead. It's got like this gap in it here, and it'll drop off the line. Heli safety bead, I think it's called, or something like that. I can't remember, but that's a cracking bit of kit. I do use the helicopter rig myself, like for long range fishing. If I've got to cast a long way, then I'll use a helicopter, and I use those safety beads so that the rig will come apart easily. So they do have some good stuff in the range corder, but a lot of it's crap, let's be honest. Overpriced crap at that. I need to finish this tea, it's going cold. We've ended our losing streak, by the way, in case you didn't know. 2-0 against Sheffield someone. United. Happy days. So yeah, I'll tell you what I will do actually while we're here. I'll give you the ticker for a while. Yeah, so you'll find, try and find yourself a helicopter rig, Ant. You know, like a kit. I know the Fox do a pretty good one. The Fox helicopter rig kit, I think it is, something like that. Just use the kit to start off with rig tubing, and you should be fine with it, mate. Fox and Nash, yeah, fair enough, mate. I've not got a lot of Nash gear myself. I like the bait, Nash bait. Gary Bays makes a really good boilie, and I'm still using the last of my Scopex squid before I go on to DNA. There are other companies making those beads as well now, and it doesn't surprise me, like, but I think Corda were the first out with them from what I could remember. But they're cracking beads for a helicopter rig. Like, they'll keep it in place while you cast, but you know, during the course of a fight or anything like that, they'll drop off. Are you against us promoting other YouTube sites? Not on here, mate, no. You can promote anyone you want. I don't allow it in the Northwestern Cheshire Angling Facebook group. I don't know. Well, lads can post their videos in the group, but I don't allow advertising and stuff like that. And I like people who post videos in the group to actually contribute to the group, and not just post the videos and then disappear, because it's just like then it looks like they're just using you. You know, they come on, you know, you administer the group, you look after you add people to the membership list, you take people off, delete stuff, keep it on top of it all the time, and they come in and just spam the video and disappear. And basically they're just making money out of your hard work. So I don't allow that. I've stopped one YouTuber from posting his videos in the group. He's made 8 posts, and all 8 posts are his new videos. Apart from that, he's never contributed to the group at all. Like, so he's on what we call post approval now. So every time he posts, I've got to approve as a post before it goes on. And I've knocked back his last 2 or 3 because they've been his new videos. So until he starts contributing more, and you know, answering questions in the Facebook group, and generally making some effort, I won't allow him to post them. But that's on Facebook. On here, you can promote anyone you like, mate. If you want to give someone's channel a shout out, feel free. Can anyone recommend a good robust brolly bivvy for overnighters that's good value for money? Ant says the Daiwa brolly system. Does it need the overwrap as well, Ant? Good question. Fox Ultra 60. I was going to say a Fox. They seem to be pretty good with the brollies these days, and the Tracker seems to do quite well with the brollies. I've got a 50-inch aqua brolly, and it's great, but I don't like fish like. I just use it for days. Fox 60-inch oval, 189 Taskers. That's not a bad price. Ian says the Fox Ultra 60. Caring for him here, lads. The Fox brollies are quite good. Yeah, Ant uses it for day sessions. JRC Defender. Yeah, I've got a JRC brolly, a 50-inch one. It's called a Stealth. JRC Stealth brolly. I had it for a while. I had an aqua brolly and it flipped upside down in the garden and ripped while it was blowing around the garden on the flags. So it was wrecked and I ended up getting rid of it. And I wasn't going to spend out on another aqua one because they're expensive, so I bought a JRC Stealth and it was great. I've still got it now somewhere, but I've got another aqua. One of my mates was selling his second hand and I got an aqua brolly for 50 quid. So it was worth it. But I keep the Stealth as a spare. And I've also got a Corum, a lightweight Corum, which is fantastic. That's 50-inch as well. And I use that for most of my days these days, like, because it's so light. I don't have to carry much around. Shelters are very much of a muchness, aren't they? Leroy, how would we contribute to the Facebook group? Well, ask questions, answer people's questions. People are in there saying, you know, where can I fish? What should you use? Any who knows a good brolly or something like that. Whatever questions are being asked, like the ones in here, answer them. Give them an answer. Give your opinion. And, you know, the fact that you're posting and you know, keeping momentum going in the group is good. If people did that, I would let them post their videos. The only person who gets away with it on a grand scale is Danny. he posts a video every week, but he hardly ever says anything. But he did help me out with my live streams years ago, so he's the only one who's got a pass at the moment. Shopped around and shows the Fox 60. Yeah, hell of a size, a 60-inch brolly. Krill boilies. I tell you what, one of my mates, right, he gets his bait from Go Outdoors. They do these like bulk bags of like crappy boilies, and he bought, I think, a 5 kilo bag of white chocolate, something like that I think they were, and he paid 20 quid for it for 5 kilos. And you know from Go Outdoors, like, it's going to be crap. And he took it on Lower Thorny and had, well, a few 20s and I think a 30 as well on these crappy white chocolate boilies from Go Outdoors. So I say don't knock them. Gizmo, get on them, mate. Yeah, see, I would never pay 500 notes for a brolly, James. I think I got mine. My first aqua brolly was 200 quid, I think. That was an original from Chris Manifold when he used to have his workshop in Stapley Water Gardens in Cheshire. That's where he used to work from, where Aqua were based when he was in charge. Now, his gear and his work is fantastic, Chris Manifold. But he sold out to Tracker, sold his business, and you know, they shipped it all off to the Far East now, and all the brollies are made out there. And because they're not handmade in England anymore, they're generally regarded as crap nowadays. And Aqua are trading on their former reputation. I would not buy a brand new Aqua brolly today, knowing that it's come from China. Handmade by Chris in his factory in Cheshire, oh yes, but from China, no chance. And the second-hand aqua brolly I bought off my mate was an original Chris Manifold one as well. That's why I bought it. And he let me have it for 50 quid, which was nice of him. He wasn't going to use it again, so he said he didn't need it. Didn't suit his fishing because he was getting older, and it had to go, like, so I whipped in there quick and got it off him. But yeah, first one was 200, second one was 50 quid. And they're all originals from the Manifold era, so they're quite old now. Yeah, beats the city council's no bivvy rules. Oh yes. Yeah, you haven't had your bivvy out since you got a fox brolly. I've got a 4 brollies, 2 aquas. No, 1 aqua now, isn't it? 1 50-inch aqua, 1 50-inch JRC Stealth, 1 Corum 50-inch. I've got a Tracker A-Light. Do you remember Tracker did one called an A-Light, which was like a very light version of the aqua Pramod bivvy. They've been made defunct now as well. They don't put them on anymore. They don't make them anymore. And I've got a Rod Hutchinson 2-man Apophysis from the 1990s, which is still going strong. Stakeley Water Gardens is a blast from the past, it is, isn't it? I can't believe they closed that place down. Used to like going there. They had everything, like a big fishing superstore, wasn't it? No, I don't think he makes angling products anymore. I think he was into koi rearing last time I heard, James. He might consult for aqua, but he's not making the stuff anymore and all that. And it's generally made in the Far East. I don't know who in England makes stuff like that nowadays. I know Cotswold Aquarius are English. They do rucksacks and stuff like that, but I don't think they make brollies. My rucksack's a Cotswold Aquarius, and when I replace me hold all's a Chris Manifold aqua hold all, going back to, well, it's 20 years old now, still going strong. But when that conks out, I will replace it with a Cotswold Aquarius one, because they're English made. Bald Eagle, cheers mate, take it easy. Munch bait. What's munch bait, Ian? The white chocolate crap boilies from Go Outdoors. It could be. I'm not even sure who munch bait are. There's so many bait companies around these days, isn't there? People trying to sell boilies for a living. It's probably the worst thing you could possibly get into, trying to sell boilies, because anyone can do it. You know, you've only got to go out and buy yourself a rolling table and a sausage gun, and you're away, aren't you? You know, you're a boilie manufacturer rolling bait for someone. It's, why people do it, I don't know. I hated rolling boilies. I got rid of all of my stuff. I only did it when I was unemployed, and I needed bait, but you know, I couldn't afford to spend out for it, so I started rolling my own. I certainly wouldn't do it today. Some of their gear is expensive. Cotswold Aquarius is the most expensive there is, Gizmo. I don't think you'll find anything that costs more. I mean, the most expensive rucksack on the market I found was about 100 quid. And then it was a big jump to my Cotswold Aquarius, which was 170. But yeah, the gear is astronomically expensive. But I tell you what, mate, it's absolute quality. Make no mistake. My rucksack's absolutely fantastic. And the good thing is, like all English manufacturers, and you know, we've had this before on this channel, like where people said, what bite alarms would you buy? Well, I'd buy Delkim because they're English and you can send them back and get them serviced. Whereas if you have a problem with the Fox one, you're screwed because they're all coming from China. And it's the same with Cotswold Aquarius. They're English. If you have a problem with your rucksack and if the stitching comes undone, you can send it back for repair and it will come back like new. Their after sales service is fantastic. So yes, they cost more, but one, they're better made, they'll last a lot longer, and if you do have any problems with it, they will sort it out for you, make no mistake. So I'll stick with the Cotswold stuff. Don't mind paying out for quality. Yeah, buy cheap, buy twice, pay once, get good stuff. That's right. And we all like our good stuff, don't we? It took a lot for me to buy that rucksack as well from Cotswold Aquarius. Like, I bit my lip over and thought, oh, should I or shouldn't I? And in the end I thought, oh, go on then. You only live once, I'll treat myself. And I'm glad I did, because it's turned out to be a really good rucksack. Like, it's absolutely solid. It's in the same kind of condition it was in when I got it. You know, there's no stitchings come undone or anything like that. It's mint. And it's slightly bigger as well. I had a little 40-litre rucksack, you know, for day fishing. And this one's slightly bigger at 55 litres. But it takes me camera equipment for when I'm filming and stuff like that. So I have a DSLR with me, which is quite bulky to carry, and a GoPro and a video camera, stuff like that. So it all goes in the bag, all fits in the rucksack nicely. Just enough room for, you know, my camera gear and me butties and my flask and stuff like that. It all fits in and all has its place. So yeah, the Cotswold rucksacks are great. Right. The one and go outdoors. I don't think it's munch bait, mate. I don't know who makes it, to be honest. I don't know where to get it from. All I know is my mate had some nice fish on it out of Thornycroft, and I was quite surprised, as was everybody else, because they were all taking the mickey out of his cheap baits. and then he went and knocked a few decent fish out. Yeah, Gizmo works for me, mate. Like I say, I don't mind paying out if it's good quality. My Cotswold rucksack's great. I like my rods. I like both sets of my rods, but my Torx are great. But again, you know, you pay a lot of money for Torx rods these days. And I like my Shimano reels. No problem with them. Here's Danny. Finished editing, done. This week's new vlog, day ticket piking, with a stunning 18-pound pike in it. Waiting to release it for ages. Look a good edit of a new vlog. Right, okay. We'll look out for that, Danny, on Friday then. Are you going to name the day ticket water, or are you going to make us watch the video? It surely wasn't Tatton. Is there even an 18-pound pike in Tatton? Cheers, Ant. Night, mate. Catch up with you soon. Take it easy. I can't name it till embargo lifted Friday. What embargo? Embargo. Are you dreaming? Just spill the beans. Working with the owners. No, James, not many waters in Kent. The closest I've been to it is probably Sandhurst. That's the closest water I've been to Kent. Is Sandhurst in Kent? I know it's not far off it. It's quite a way down towards the south coast. I've been to Sandhurst quite a few times, but that's the furthest south I've been, I think. I've been to Linear, obviously, but that's in Oxford, which is north of London, isn't it? The only place south of London I've been is Sandhurst. I went to Farlow's once as well, and I've been to Orchid once. So I've fished a few high profile day ticket waters around the country, but Kent, it's probably as far away from me as you can possibly get, James. I'm nearer to Scotland than I am to Kent. It's a long way, a hell of a long way. The best you've ever caught, right? Okay, Danny. Yeah, fair enough. That's not bad then, mate, and especially if it's a day ticket water. Pike of that size are quite rare outside the trout reservoirs these days. You just don't get them very much. I think the cormorants have taken a lot of their food, so there's never really enough to get much beyond jack size, to be honest. You get a few doubles here and there, but you don't get the numbers of £20 pike that there used to be when I was a kid. Larford. Before Larford took it over. Yeah. Mr. Tyler, alright mate? Good to see you. What's that other one? That one that Mark What's-His-Face always does his videos on and his tutorials. It used to be called the Mid-Northants Carp Fishery when Kevin Maddox used to fish it. It used to feature in Carp Fever book, Mid-Northants Carp Fishery, but it's got another name now. Can't remember what it's called, but I've been there as well, only once, and I didn't catch anything. I've been around a bit. Been to Selby Free Lakes, Yorkshire. Caught one from there. Had one session on Turn Hill, or Rose Hill as it's called, which is down the A41. That's a syndicate now, but before it was made syndicate, it was a day ticket water. And I went there once, had a couple of fish out, only little ones, singles. Been around quite a bit. I like the club waters best though, mainly because you don't have to pay. Best spend your money on gear instead. Yeah. Time is it? Right, okay. Still got a bit of time left yet. Oh, yeah. My bathroom's going to look stunning anyway. By the way, I've picked all my bits out from my bathroom. You know, the bath, the taps, the shower taps and stuff like that. Tiles, heated towel rail, stuff like that. Sink. Everything's going to be spot on. So my little jaunt out before was worthwhile. Abbey Gizmo spent loads of time on there. I only went once, or twice I went, mate. Around about 2000, 2001. We had the fishing on there with the... Do you ever remember the Fishing Warehouse website and forum? I actually think it's still going, but the forum isn't used very much now. But yeah, we had a social, Fishing Warehouse social on there, and I'd never been to Free Lakes before. So I booked a trip for me and my mate the week before the social and went down, and I had a £25.5 mirror out. I had to move 3 times to get a swim with fish in because it was so busy. But eventually I got a couple of hours on the fish and managed to nick one out. I had to work hard for it though. And went back on the Fishing Warehouse social and blanked. I've not been to the place since. I thought it was far too busy and it wasn't worth making the effort just because it was so busy. Fair trek down south from Wirral, yeah. Only once, James. I went to Dream Lakes in must be 1997, something like that. 96, 97. I went to Dream Lakes not long after it was over. It was only Dream Lake 1. They only had the one lake open back then, like, and I had a week on there, and I hated it, mate. I really did. That was the end of me in commercial fisheries in France. I would never go to another one. We all drew straws, drew numbers for what peg you were on and stuff like that, which is the fair way of doing it. And when you don't come out near the top of the draw and all the pegs with the fish in disappear and you're left with the dregs, it doesn't make for a very good trip, mate. And I went from started on Saturday dinner time, and I didn't get a bite until Thursday afternoon, and I was watching people down the other end of the lake pulling out 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, like, no. So I think I moved on Thursday afternoon, like 4 lads in the opposite arm to us had all moved the day before me, and with no lines in the water. I had a walk up there end of the lake, like, and started seeing fish showing. So I was straight in there, and I had 6 fish in the last 2 days, up to 29.4. All 20s, 6 20s, between 23 and 29. So it rescued me trip a little bit, but I didn't get a 30 and I didn't get a 40 or bigger, which is what we were all really going for. And just the fact that it was so busy and you couldn't move, you basically had your swim for the week, and you had to camp there, and if they didn't come through your swim, you were screwed. So I never went back, mate. I've not been abroad since. Scouted that venue again this week, one that's a yomp in the field. Yeah, right, okay. Nice pike sulking in the margins. Yeah, so we go off the radar on Friday. The reason they're in the margins, Danny, I think they're starting to spawn the pike. They were on Saturday. They were chasing each other around in the reeds on the brickworks where I'm fishing. They were actually grouping up to spawn. I saw 5 come right in under me rods, and like I've got a little gap in the reeds that you can fish out of with your rods over the top of it. And in the gap underneath me rods in 12 inches of water, there was 5 pike. And I think they're getting a bit frisky, mate. Right, okay, yeah. When Julian Cundiff was on there. That was quite a while ago, that Gizmo. He did quite well on there, as I recall, like. It was very much a Nutribaits place at the time, wasn't it? Come to think of it, I thought I had my 25 plus on Trigger Ice, which was new out at the time. And obviously it had been used on Free Legs prior to being released, because it would have been tested on there, like, so loads of it had gone in. So, when in Rome, you go in somewhere where they're testing the base, you just buy a kilo of it and make do. Taking wages in deep mud. I think trips abroad are overrated, James. Yeah, I really do. A few of my mates will argue difference, because they've all been abroad in the last few years, and most of them have got PBs over £50, some of them over 60. They go every year without fail, and they book a lake out, and everybody stays on the lake, and you do a whole week, and during the week the fish will move around and most people will catch, but they don't always move. Sometimes they'll stay stacked in the same place for ages, and if you don't get on the fish, you know, you're going to have a really disappointing trip, and it's quite hard. So I didn't like it. I prefer to work for me fish, and would rather find them myself and be able to move on to them, and being stuck in, you know, this is your lane of water and that's it, is not my idea of fishing, mate. So I avoid. Yeah, very disappointing if you're not on the fish. That's right. So take it. Have you had one of those, Mr. Tyler, when you've been on the wrong end of it? The thing is, most people are on the wrong end of it. You know, you get these trips and everybody, they come back and they put the pictures on Facebook and I've had this and I've had that. You know, there was something like, you know, there'll be another like 10 or 15 people who were on the same trip who've come back going, oh, that wasn't very good. So for all the fish and the successes you see, there's probably a load more that have not had a good time. If I was going to go to France, I think I'd like to go somewhere like Chanticoq or Cassian, somewhere where you've you know, you make the best of it yourself. You don't just draw a peg and then pitch your gear for a week. You know, you've got to drive around, look for fish, and work your arse off. Basically, I'd rather go to one of those places rather than a commercial. You know, let's camp for a week and take whatever comes your way. Not happy with those kind of venues. You've rebooked for France, yeah, okay. About to pull the trigger on a bait boat, right? Okay, Danny, any particular one? Evening stew. It's okay, mate. Don't worry about it. You're here. That's all that matters. 3 of us going in a lake to yourselves. See, that's not so bad, is it? Unless there's only 3 swims on the lake and then you can't move. Yeah, Gizmo, you've got to work your arse off on the canals, mate. It's all about location, isn't it? Putting the effort in. More on the channel on it soon. Read the bait boat. Right, okay. What have you gone for, Danny? Have you gone for an expensive one or one of these sub £200 ones that seem to be, everybody seems to be doing reviews on lately? Yeah, Danny's done a bit of canal carping as well. It's one I haven't done yet. I've done a lot of homework on it, but I've never actually fished the canal for carp. Done a lot of homework on the Shropshire Union, and I know some good spots, but I just haven't been there yet. I've not had the time. You said that last year, Danny, about being on the canal. Be on it again this year. 1 fish all week, anglers down the other end of the lake bagging. Yeah, been there, done that. Once was enough for me, and I'll never go again. You know, I mean, chances are if I'd have gone back every year since, I'd have landed on there and had one of those 40s and 50s and 60s trips. All my mates have, but it's the disappointment. It's no good. And you got to be very careful who you go to France with as well, like, because I know an awful lot of people who've fallen out with each other while they're in France. Some people have got so angry that they've left someone behind. So it's you've got to be very careful who you go with as well. It's got to be someone who's generally laid back and isn't going to get wound up and angry. You know, you've got to go there, the attitude that you're going to work hard and stuff like that, but you can't have it all your own way. Like, you need someone who's got a bit of give and take, otherwise you'll just end up falling out with someone. It is a front for a secret river carp on a river no one knows that they're in. Well, we know they're in the Mersey, and we know they're in the Weaver. We know they're in the Dane and the Dee. And we know they're in the Ribble as well. What else is left? Cheers, James. Thanks for popping in, mate. It's nice talking to you. Hopefully I'll see you again next week, mate. Depends what you call a river. Yeah. I suppose there might be a couple of smaller ones around. I know there's barbel in the Goit, isn't there? And what's that other one that runs past Horseshoe? The little tiny one. I wouldn't imagine you'd find many in there, like, because the otters will have had them all, but there are other little tiny places that might hold them. I think most rivers are known about, Danny. Get it right, happy days, yeah. And the good thing about rivers and canals and stuff like that is the fish, once you find them, Gowie, cheers Rob. Yeah, the Gowie might have a few in, but I would imagine the otters would have seen them off, or most of them. Yeah, if you get your location right, they're easy to catch as well, because they've not seen angling pressure before, or very little of it. Gowie is close size-wise. Right, okay, so it's only a little place. Crikey, could be anywhere. Not location-wise. Right, okay. Decorating last weekend, all finished. Fishing Monday. And back fishing Tuesday. I'm out Monday, Stu. I'm off next week. I've got to work, it's Thursday tomorrow, isn't it? Thursday and Friday. I've got 2 more days left, and then I'm off for a week. Bring it on. I'll go Saturday, and then I'll go a few days next week as well, like. Yeah, that's the point. It could be anywhere. Yeah, it could be, Danny. Could be that little tributary you fished. Remember the one you fished on the Severn? The one that was just off the Atcham. Could be there. Wouldn't be surprised to find carp in there, like, because they're certainly in the Atcham stretch. You know, tomorrow, Friday, doing the netting, Saturday out, Sunday and Monday. Where's the netting, Danny? I take it this is the netting team for Lim. At least the work parties are getting done anyway, mate, and the nettings and stuff like that. That's what you want. At least things like that are still happening despite lockdown. I suppose because you're working outdoors. It's not so bad, is it? Seven's got plenty of carp in it, Gizmo. Especially in the lower reaches, not so many in the middle. There is carp in the middle 7, like, but they're quite nomadic. Not loads of them, and they're very nomadic, so they're hard to pin down. But certainly on the lower 7, they're a lot easier. So round Storport and below. But in the middle river, they're like ghosts. Half of my barbel fishing has been looking for 7 carp. That's why I go there in the first place. Go barbel fishing because you know you're going to catch a few, like, but keep your eye out for the carp as well. And I've never seen any. Never spotted one. Never hooked, well, hooked what may have been one. Or may not. So hooked something big on one of the stretches of the 7. that run me all over the river for ages and then snapped me £15 line. Upton, yeah. Yeah, Upton Marina. Yeah, I know about that place, mate. If we can travel in winter. You might be able to travel next winter, Danny, but I don't think we're going to get very far this winter. We'll be well into spring by the time the 29th of March comes. We're pretty much there now, aren't we? In fact, winter's over. 1st of March was officially the first day of spring. So there's not long left on the river season either, by the way. This 14th of March and it's over, isn't it? Until the 16th of June. That's another bad thing as well, like, because they'll be stuck with nobody can go on the river. They'll all head for the lakes, which is just going to make things worse over the next couple of months, isn't it? Not going to be good. The river colder, right? Okay, that doesn't surprise me, Will. They get everywhere, don't they? Of course it counts as work, Danny. Every session you go fishing's work, mate. It's all work. Paying tax on little ad revenue. It does count as work, yes. You do know that everything you get fishing wise is tax deductible. So if you buy any gear, you keep the receipt and add it to your books. Do a set of books, and everything you buy comes off your revenue, and what's left is your profit, which you pay tax on, which, if you play it right, should be nothing. So you shouldn't pay any tax at all. Just so you know. Yeah, we do, Gizmo. We all know him. Yeah, I've, as far as I'm concerned, I'm back fishing anyway, mate, because I don't do nights anyway. So the fact that it's day fishing only is just not bothering me at all. I'm not one who's going to camp out all night to catch carp. Like, I don't need to. I do it in the daytime. It's one of the reasons I haven't fished the canal, because I know they're mostly nocturnal. 40s in the Calder. Where have they come from, Will? I'm assuming they're escapees from somewhere. Quite surprising, that. River 40s, that they're quite a rarity in this country. I can only think of Dippy. Remember the river gipping mirror called Dippy that was alive years ago? And I believe there was one out of the Trent as well, the Trent Ghosty, which promptly shrunk in weight after it got out of one of the waters in the Trent Valley, didn't it? Promptly shrunk in weight and then disappeared again. Yeah, finish your edit, Danny. I'll look out for that one on Friday, mate, and see what your pike's like. Take it easy. So, what's the story, Will? Where have they come out? Where have they escaped from? Because I wouldn't have thought they'd grow natural 40s in the Calder, mate. I'd be very surprised if they did. Eric's. Right, okay, say no more. Yeah, that must be heartbreaking, that, having big fish like that going down the river. I've got to say though, mate, if I lived in that area, I would be straight on the Calder. Make no mistake, I would be on it, looking for those fish. You know, especially if it's like free fishing or a cheap club ticket or something like that. Yeah, Eric's always floods into there. Have they not put any fences up to keep them in? To stop losing them? That's madness, that, isn't it? I should have known it would be Eric's, actually. I should have thought of that. Just wasn't sure with my geography where exactly the Calder was. I knew it was over somewhere towards Yorkshire way, northeast-ish, but I wasn't exactly sure where. Yeah, it's kind of like top flash situation, that then, isn't it? Treetops often floods into the Weaver and vice versa, and they've known fish go out of top flash into the Weaver and then come back in a few years later when it's flooded again. They go out and come back, spend a couple of years in the river system. Mr. Tyler, cheers mate, see you soon. Wakey Lagoon flooded as well, and load went in the river. 46 came out. Thing is though, Will, in a river like the Calder, is it going to be able to maintain that weight in the river? I wouldn't have thought it would. You know, it's gone from being boily fed, swimming around the lake, lazy and fat, to having to, you know, battle current with not much food. So I would have thought maybe it would drop down. Larford flooded 7 and filled with barbel. Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah. Well, the barbel are looking to get out the current, aren't they? So they're just looking for somewhere to sit off for a while, and they ended up, obviously they've ended up getting stranded in there. Eric and the trout lake become one. Yeah, you'd think once they got the fish sorted out in each lake that they'd like fence them or something like that to make sure, one, they can't get in the river, and two, they can't go from lake to lake. Or is there not enough room between the lakes for them to fence it? Just seems like a pointless exercise, stocking it with all those big fish when they're just gonna swim away first sign of a flood. Summon the approach from Eric's. Oh dear, musical carp. Anywhere where there's a rivers like this, isn't it? The D is another one. Fish farm at Eccleston on the D. That's flooded a few times, and now the river's full of carp again. The Trent Valley, the Calder. There's anywhere there's floods, there seems the carp getting. Mind you, it's all good. Makes for a bit of mystery, doesn't it? Right, chaps, I'm going to call it a night, I think. It's nearly 9:30, and I think I need a refill for me cup. So I think I'm going to call it a night. Approach runs Eric's. A few high 40s and 50s go in the trout lake. Oh dear. A few of my mates have got memberships for that. They, you know, Eric's, you know, you pay, I think it was it 30 quid for life or something like that, and then so much a session, and you'd have to go up for an interview. One of my mates suggested it as a social venue for us all. Like if we all joined, we could book it out. But the fact that we had to go up there for an interview in the first place put most of us off. We couldn't be asked going up to Yorkshire to be interviewed. So we sacked it. Right, subscribe, tap the bell, as the ticker says. Check out the Carp YouTube channel if you're not already. It is hard fishing up here, Stu, you wouldn't believe it. The only thing hard about the fishing up here, mate, is getting a peg, because so many people go fishing in the first place. It's getting silly, but I'm finding the brickwork's quite easy up at Morton, like where I'm fishing at the moment. It's a bit of a runs water, to be honest, and it's not so bad. Gives me somewhere to go, like why we can't get out. Yeah, check out my Carp YouTube channel anyway, as the ticker says, and we're live on here every Wednesday. And yeah, I'll be back next Wednesday hopefully. And until then, take care, guys. Take it easy. Will, Stu, Gizmo, Mr. Tyler. There's been quite a few on tonight, hasn't there? I won't name check everybody, like, but you all know who you are. And I will catch you all next week. Take care of yourselves. And I shall put my thumb up and say tight lines and end in stream now.